Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com. Hope you and your family are doing well. Here are two carpets, both of them purchased during a cruise where an American family went to Turkey. One of them is a genuine Turkish rug. The other one turned out to be a Chinese made that was sold as a Turkish rug. So whether you are cruising in the Mediterranean or just in general, if you want to know what type of silk rug you may have, in this video right here, this is one of several videos. I'm going to try to give you pointers, ways that you can tell the difference. Regardless of what you are being told, I want you to be able to look at a rug and get a sense for it. I'm also going to be answering questions from one of our subscribers. Corey has emailed me pictures wanting to know if the carpet that he has is genuine, whether it's a Persian rug or whether it's a handmade rug. He just wanted to get my feedback on it. And this is kind of sort of similar to the topic that we're going to be talking about. So I thought I'm going to answer Corey's question as well. This is something that I do in my channel for years now, that I'm giving you as a viewer the opportunities to also ask me questions. And when I get enough of them, I make them. I typically will reply by email. But in the meantime, when there are questions about rugs that are commonly asked, I will put them together and I feature them in their own segments. But in this case right here, I thought of these two rugs. I have two Turkish Hereke rugs, at least that's what they're sold as. These are both 15-15 quality. One is a genuine piece, one is a Chinese made piece. And I'm going to give you the tips. Thought of it as I was returning from a recent vacation. A friend of mine and I, we took a cruise down to Mexico. Absolutely had a fantastic time. But doing one of our excursions, as is common, they take you to beach sites. In our case, we went to a private beachfront and everything. Well, the bus drops us off from the stop to the beach. We had to walk through shopping areas. And this is common, whether it is, like I said, in our case, we've been to Mexico. We have had cruises through the Mediterranean and everything. And this is so common. It's not that you are being pushed to buy something, but the cruise lines, it's almost like they have something going on. Now, there is very, very important. If you purchase something on the cruise ship, as I have been told, then the cruise line is responsible. Now, me being personally, I have a little watch fetish. So when I was on the cruise ship, as they oftentimes do when you embark on the ship, you see all the shops and everything, and my friend turned to me and she was like, "Oh yeah, Mike, they got you on the hook." I immediately saw some watches and everything. I ended up actually buying a couple of really nice pieces. Not overly outrageously expensive, but the thing was, with the watches, I have enough knowledge. I know what the pricing is, and of course, when you do the buying on the cruise ships, or they oftentimes they tell you yes, because there's no tax involved and everything. I was able to do my homework, and I decided that yes, it works. The same thing with carpets. If, for example, when you buy something on the ship, oftentimes this is a question that I get from many of you that I've had so many times. I always tell folks, if you buy it on the ship, generally speaking, I believe the cruise line is responsible. But if you're buying it on land, from a business that is not associated with the cruise line, then I do not believe the cruise can be held responsible. In this case right here, we have an American family that is vacationing. It's taken a cruise, Mediterranean. They went to Turkey. They purchased these rugs. Not the same family. These are two different families. But you have two rugs right here. Both of them have what is known as a 15-15 quality. And that means these are extremely fine pieces. 15-15 knots, for those of you that are new to handmade carpets, we're talking 15 knots per centimeter. That's 1,500 knots in 1 meter. And if you square that, you end up with an amazing 2.25 million knots per square inch. It's an amazing, we're talking like 1,400 knots per square inch. I mean, it's just an amazing number. And it is absolutely important for you as a buyer to know what it is that you're getting. So before I answer Corey's question about the rug that he has, I'm going to give you some quick pointers on what you can do. Number one, if you're looking at buying a handmade carpet and you notice there is a signature on it, I don't care if you know how to read the language. Here, for example, you have Hereke Ozipek. There is a signature on this piece as well, as you can see in the picture. I don't know how to read Farsi myself. This is what I oftentimes tell folks when they ask me about questions about signatures on rugs. I don't know how to read and write Persian. I know how to speak Farsi, but I was born and raised in Germany. So what I do is whenever I have folks like you asking me about signatures, I always turn to my friends and family. And I want you to do the same thing. This is really important, not because of what the signature may mean, but whether or not the signature is actually legible, because that will tell you a lot about a rug. If you were to meet, if you know someone, whether they are Arabs, Turkish, whether they are Persian, Afghan, doesn't matter. If you were to show them the signature, they will most likely be able to look at the individual letters and be able to tell you that, yeah, it says Hereke Ozipek. They may not know what it means, but they will be able to tell you, yeah, we can read this. And sometimes it's actually helpful to look at it from the back of the rug. Now, you notice on this rug right here, if you look at the signature, we cannot get anyone. I have asked my relatives, I have asked our employees, I've asked Turkish people, Persian people, Afghans, can you guys read this? And they said, no, this is like nonsense. If this is a 15-15 quality, which it is, it's like imagine having a Rolex and then they put a name on there that is so badly written that nobody can read it. That is a sure sign that it is not a genuine, in this case, Turkish Hereke rug. It's not about what they wrote, but how they wrote it. That is what I want you to take away from this. So signatures, look at it as far as how they are done and everything, whether it's legible or not. Next thing, weight and feel of the silk. For example, and this is going to be difficult for those of you when you go into a shop, but if you are in a shop and you look at a whole pile of rugs, you will notice that, and in this case right here, the Ozipek, the way it feels, the weight versus the Chinese, this feels like paper. And this is something that I commonly have noticed, that the Turkish silk rugs, the same with Persian, much more denser and heavier than in the Chinese. The Chinese, they tend to be lighter. And this is also something where when you hold it, you can see that folding the Chinese rug is much, much easier than on the Turkish. So again, this is something where knowledge comes in, a little bit of experience. But if you have the chance to feel a bunch of them, you will see that there is a difference. Also, in the knots, you will notice in the video, as you're looking at the two rugs side by side, the Turkish piece right here, the knots are they just feel differently and they look differently. These are individually double knotted. Whereas on the Chinese rugs, similar to the Indian Kashmir rugs, they're not so much that they're knotted. It's like someone took a cord or silk and they sprung it around poles. That is the best way for me to describe it. This is why some people, they do not refer to Kashmir, the Indian Kashmir rugs, as hand knotted. They're handmade, but they are basically slung. It makes a big difference because when you remove one, you can literally loosen up the whole back foundation of that whole string, whereas on the Turkish one, each knot is an individual double knot. That is why the Indian rugs are a lot cheaper than the Persian rugs. This is why the Chinese rugs are a lot cheaper than the Turkish rugs, in this case right here. So take a look at the knots. And again, if you're not aware, if you're not too sure of, ask someone. That's the best thing I can tell you, is literally ask. Because, for example, we also have the silk here. We have the Turkish silk. This is real, genuine. This is the best silk as you would expect. This is an older piece versus the Chinese ones. These are typically either synthetic silk or they're like a bamboo silk. Again, feels much, much lighter. And again, this is where also experience comes in. As I've described in my many videos where I compare the rugs and everything, I'm giving you basic pointers. But the best thing I can tell you is ask if you're not too sure of. And preferably ask from someone who is not gonna have financial interest. If you're buying the rug and you're asking the salesperson, well, obviously, probably you're gonna get the answer that benefits him. But if you ask someone who has nothing to gain, then you're probably going to get a much more valuable answer. And that is really also the bottom line. You have the Chinese rug, you have the Turkish rug. In this case right here, people have oftentimes asked me, they said, yeah, they're both 15-15 quality, but you're looking at a Turkish piece that is worth about 3 times as much as the Chinese one. Both of them are really nice pieces. But the difference between the two, one is considered a collectible that is typically passed down to next generations. The other one is a nice piece. It's like a very high quality knockoff of a Rolex. That's the best way for me to put it. So you have a very high quality, very well done clone versus genuine. That's the best way for me to explain it to you. Hope this segment of the video was of help. And again, if you have questions, as I always talk about in my video, If you have questions about rugs that you may have yourself, feel free. There's a link below in the description. Look at it. You see the kind of pictures I need and everything. Feel free to let us know, and we can certainly take a look at it, and I can give you a simple, straight answer. Also, if you like to, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Give us a like. It helps us. We appreciate it. So before I say my quick goodbyes, as I mentioned to you, I had one of our subscribers, Corey, had emailed me, and he has a rug that he's not too sure about. He's had it for a number of times. It's an old rug that he has had, and he wanted to know whether it's handmade. He wanted just basically just a general, he wanted to get my opinions on it. And as you can see here, he has about 6 different pictures. And based on the pictures, as I've told Corey, to me, it immediately stood out when I looked at it. You have a rug that has a Persian rug design. It's almost like like a Nain Persian carpet. But we're looking at the various pictures, in my opinion, and I always say, feel free to get other people's opinion. This is just based on my experience and everything, and I'm certainly not one to refer to myself as an expert. My opinion, this is 100% Chinese. Get another opinion if you want, Corey, feel free. But based on all the various pictures, the way the rug looks and everything, I don't think it is, to me, it's a mass-produced Chinese rug. Not too sure whether it's handmade or not. This is something where I would honestly, my best advice to you would be, if it matters a great deal, we actually get emails from Chinese manufacturers, and I believe over the years, this is a type of rug that they advertise for making in any size and any shape, and this is why I can pretty much I'm pretty confident when I say that I'm pretty sure this is one of those types of rugs. But again, Corey, if you want, feel free to get a second opinion. So I hope this video is of help to you. This is something that I have discussed many times, and I'm going to continue to do this. Whenever I get examples of carpets, in this case right here, you have 2 families who purchased the rugs. Both of them were purchased in Turkey. One of them turned out to be fake. That is something that is becoming more and more common. If you go and buy, and this is just right now, whether it is buying a handmade carpet throughout Mediterranean countries, also Persia and Iran, you'll find that there's such an influx of Chinese-made and machine-made that it's becoming, unfortunately, a huge problem. I have so many clients, so many subscribers, viewers that have purchased rugs throughout on these types of vacation or on business trips, whether it is to Dubai, whether it is to Saudi Arabia, and they have emailed me pictures. I cannot tell you how many times from servicemen stationed in Bahrain, and I've told them, sorry, it's machine made, it's not handmade. So I hope you see this video before the purchase. But again, we're here if you have questions. There is a lot more information, not only in our YouTube channel, but also at our website at nprugs.com. Feel free to check it out if you have any questions, or let us know. Again, if you like our channel, it's all about handmade carpets. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be coming back to you with many more videos to come. In the meantime, wishing you and your family the very best. Until we see each other again, take care. Bye-bye.